Alright guys, welcome back to the Mad County Build Series. For those who have not been around for the whole series, I'm Paul, and we got a couple episodes coming up. I transitioned back to the garage, working on finishing that off, the steel on the ceiling, the walls, the garage doors, and then my electrician came out this weekend and we worked together on roughing in some of the garage electric. So we're just going to jump into the first episode, and I'll show you how I got the steel onto the ceiling. It was a little bit of challenge, but let's get into it. Alright, we got some plastic put up. Got the wrap on this. And part of the reason I put that up is I want to insulate that room, and I might do spray foam, and there's going to be metal on here, so I want to make sure I have that up. And I had extra, so got that done. Now we're going to trim out this section here, and then we're going to start putting metal up. Got this whole center section done yesterday. Our lift blew a hydraulic line, so that slowed us up quite a bit, but we're going to try to get the plastic up and some pieces up here this morning. But we will see how it goes because we don't have a lift to help us today, so I'm not sure how that's going to go. I just got one piece of board I got to patch in there to attach my plastic and steel to, and then we'll get going. So our lift broke down, so I've come up with this contraption here. I got boards that tie in to the header, come down, and have a cross on the bottom. And then what I'm doing is putting my steel up there, and then I'm using these to push it up against the ceiling, and then I screw it in there to kind of hold it so I can get it fine-tuned. But it's working not too bad. I got 2 rows up. 3 rows to go. Well, actually like 2 full sheets and then like 1 foot it ended up being, so I'm all ready for my next row. guys, that's a wrap for the day. I got the two big sections all done. That side I did yesterday with the lift. But yesterday afternoon the lift blew a hydraulic line, so I had to plastic and put all this steel up without a lift. And so I had to be a little innovative. I built these stands where I was able to slide the steel up and on top of them to kind of hold them about 12 inches off the ceiling. And then I pushed them into place. I got these to fit to the floor, to the ceiling, so I could wedge them in and hold it tight to the ceiling while I screwed it in. So, in all honesty, I did it faster this way than I did with the lift, believe it or not. And it turned out fantastic. But it was a good day, and came up with an innovative solution to the lift breaking down on me, and I got it done. So I'm gonna head out of here. We will see you tomorrow. I'm running by myself again, and I'm gonna try to get this little area steeled, what will be the canning kitchen steeled, and then figure out what I'm gonna do in here. But when you're doing this by yourself, this is a 10-foot ceiling, and what I've done is I made these little stands. They screw into one of the boards there, and they just come over with the T at the bottom, and then I slide my steel over the top. This is about 13 feet wide, a little over, so these pieces of steel are easy to handle for me. And then once I get it up there, that gets it about a foot from the ceiling, I can use these T-bars to push it up about an inch, half inch from the ceiling, and then I screw that into that 2x4 there to hold it in place, and then I can fine tune it and get it screwed up. So that's how I'm doing this by myself. It's actually working pretty good. So like this, where you have a full sheet, you can't trim the entire top out. So trim 3 sides out, and then what I do is leave a side out, and then you can just butt J-trim up against there, but I don't like what it looks like. So what I do is once I get a few pieces up, I take a piece of J-trim and I slide it on, and then I'll do the same thing on the end. I'll slide a piece along, and then whatever's left in the middle, I just cut the tab off and I screw it in through the side, and you'll see when I get done. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this piece up. Alright, and then the next piece I'll pull down and slide over as far as I can. If there's anything left, then I'll screw a little piece in through here. I'll show you that at the end. So if you want a piece of J-trim on your fourth side, if you split the room in half, you can usually get it up in two pieces. If you drop, so I dropped these 3 pieces of steel and slid this piece of J-trim on. And then the other way, I'm doing this in 3 pieces just because I'm using scrap. There'll be another piece of J-trim that goes up against here, but I like having J-trim up here because it trims out this back part versus just butting a piece up here. You're going to see the wood or whatever else unless you put aluminum or something up there. So I slid the piece on, and then you have to notch this right here at the end of this piece so you can get it past that rib. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to. So once you do that, then it butts up, and then you can just put screws up through there all the way. This isn't something you have to do, but I just like the way it looks with that J-trim on there up top. I mean, I know most people aren't going to look, but if I'm ever to like wash this down or something, at least there's some trim up there to keep the water from going against the wood. Alright, now I have a piece of J-trim all the way along there, and instead of seeing wood behind there, you just see the metal. So looks good. Alright guys, the entire ceiling in the garage is done except for the mechanical room. So we'll just check this out quick. There's these 2 big sections and then this back corner. In here, this is going to be like my kind of my hunting room, stuff like that. So I had this old steel from a building my dad had, so I put 1/2-inch plywood up on the ceiling and then put this steel up. And the reason I put the 1/2-inch plywood up is because this has holes in it from the old screws, and it's pretty thin stuff, and I wanted it to be good and sturdy, so I put 1/2-inch plywood up first. So I think it's going to turn out really nice. And then this here, got that all done. That's above what's going to be the canning kitchen. And then in here, I've been doing a lot of prep work to put the ceiling up, which I'm ready. So I got all the plywood up. My HVAC unit's going to sit there, and then my main trucks, my duct, are going to go that way through that hole. All my mechanicals will be in here, but all my electric is going to go up through there. And the problem was, as soon as I put the ceiling in, there's no way I could get over there. And then I made a couple walkways so that I can get over there to get my electric over into the attic of the house and throughout the garage. So just had to do a little bit of prep work, and I'm ready to hang plastic and get this ceiling up. So hopefully I can get that done today. I'm going to put my attic access about right here. So you can see there's a walkway that starts right where the attic access is going to be. And then also you'll be able to walk on this wall over to the wall that runs north and south. So should have good access up there, so I won't fall through the steel. So a little bit extra work, but we're ready to hang some plastic and get this up. So let's get after it. Finished up the ceiling in this room. Turned out pretty good. Got my attic access ready. I'll build a panel. When I get up there next, I'll video how I did that, but then I'm going to build a panel that'll just sit down in there and it'll be metalled, so it'll look good. I got this whole room. It's 3/4 inch green treated plywood. Got my electrical panel here. So all of my wiring will go up through into conduit. And then we got our main water line coming in. I put a second 4-inch PVC just in case I ever want to add anything. And I took that outside about 10 feet off and then marked it. And then these are to water spigots. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll get one out in a couple days here, finishing off all the wall steel in the garage. And we'll also have the garage door install coming up. And then we will be back, hopefully by the end of the week, framing the upstairs of the house. So stay tuned. I know that the garage isn't as exciting for everybody, but if you're going to build this style of home and you're going to finish off your garage, it could be helpful in some ways. So appreciate you guys watching. I'm super excited about the way the channel's growing, and I want to thank everybody for that. If anybody has any questions, don't be afraid to ask, and I'll do my best to answer them. But we will catch you on the next video.